we appreciate everybody for coming out tonight, taking the time to come out tonight. Let's toast to a great night, elevation, a lot of gratitude, you know, and just connecting with real people, real stories, real businesses, you know, and into that.
Cheers. All right, everyone's comfortable? Thank you all for coming, and thank you for Divine Tree for wanting to host this. I am the founder of Soul Supper, and my name is Mac, and I'm here to basically curate the supper and the conversation and moderate what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is entrepreneurship. The reason why we chose entrepreneurship as a topic, and I'll kind of get into why we have a topic, but each one of you have something to bring to entrepreneurship, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you support entrepreneurs, whether you help them with funding, with figuring out what their venture is, and ultimately kind of bringing this community together because each of you add value to this topic. So Soul Supper is a company that I started about 3 years ago. It is a human connection brand. It is supposed to be where we make connections much deeper than what do you do, where are you from, and where you work. I started it because I didn't feel connected to a community, and I often found myself, you know, going out with people and not having good relationships. We weren't sitting down to actually have those moments that matter. I'm gonna kick it off with the first question, but the conversation is meant to flow. We're not like having a structured supper. It's just meant to kind of chat with people, make connections. So first question, I will start with Derek. If you want to introduce yourself, kind of why you were here, and then your definition of success.
So Derek Stroger, for those who haven't met yet, work with JP Morgan Private Bank here in Houston. I think success is about mostly freedom. You know, freedom of time, freedom to live the life that you want. I'm starting to experience that a lot now.
My name is Hermez. I'm an artist and creative director for Divine Tree. Success means to me believing in yourself. You know, I think you're successful once you believe in an idea, you know, a thought, a belief, you know, anything that you feel that's valuable to you. I think that's success, in executing it, obviously following through on your idea, your belief, and acting on it day and day. So I think success is just like believing in yourself, because that's the key to anything successful, right? Like, you got to believe in the product, the service, the team, you know, whatever the case may be, the business. So yeah, in simple terms, I think success is believing in yourself.
Love it. Robert Hines, I am with JP Morgan Chase. My real title is just Dad. So sometimes I have my employees call me Daddy, Big Daddy, Sugar Daddy.
What we gonna do is tell the truth at this time.
I rent that title, but actually what I do for JP Morgan is I lead a team of incredible business consultants that provide guidance for access to capital. And we identify capital as intellectual, social, and monetary. What we're experiencing tonight, of course, is social capital, which is incredible. I'm so looking forward to learning more and growing more. You know, my definition of success is really about happiness. It's not the pursuit of happiness, it's not the arrival of happiness, it's just your definition of happiness.
I'm Layla. I am the owner of Legacy Philanthropy, which manages pro athletes charity events. I'd say my definition of success, were you'd asked me this a couple years ago, I'd say making as much money as you can. I think where I'm at in life, it's really being balanced mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Because when you're balanced, life becomes so much more abundant. And
my name is Alejandro, Alexander. I'm here on behalf of my bros. I'm a personal trainer, yoga instructor. I like investing too, so I feel like success to me, like Derek says, is like having a source of freedom, whether it's financially free, liberated in the mind, spirit, and just being able to do the things that you want to do in life and feel good about. And for me, that's being able to help people become the best version of themselves.
I am a senior leader with the firm, so my greatest accomplishment with them at this point in time is making sure that I can help to minimize the racial wealth gap between Black and brown communities. So that's part of why I'm here today. Success for me is W's and L's, wins and lessons. If you're not learning, then you're losing. So every L for me is a lesson.
My definition of success is actually being able to break the cycle where I come from and making sure that any door that I walk through, everybody that's my people, not considering my color, just my people that come from where I come from can go on the same limits that I walk through. So mine is just making sure me and mine is good. That's the definition of success.
My definition of success is similar to what Laolu said. I immediately thought about balance and joy. And I think bringing joy into any space that you're in is important, and keeping that as your North Star.
My name is Ken Gilliard. I am the president and CEO of Top Choice Lending, which is a mortgage brokerage here in Texas and in Florida. I started this company 6 years ago. I used to work for a bank at one point. I wanted to be different, wanted to look different. I didn't want to wear suit and tie every day.
Warren Broadnack, CEO and co-founder of She's Happy Hair, executive director of the She's Happy Foundation, co-founder of Happy Me Tea, serial entrepreneur. Also a dad. They don't call me dad here. They call me Mr. Warren. Definition of success, I think it's a blended thing with me. It's freedom for the first part, right? Freedom to be able to chase your dreams, whatever they are. I think it's also to be able to create opportunities for others, right? I think that's one of the main things, especially when it's an entrepreneur. Like you said, like I got so many women on my staff that are making more money than they ever made in their life, and that means much to me as well as impacting the community, right? So, and also the last part of that is just what is success? Because you can still be killing it with the numbers, giving back to the community and be unhappy. So real success is just enjoying that process, because I've been in that process and been unhappy.
Laremy, Tunsil, y'all can call me LT. Played for the Houston Texans, been in the league for 8 years. Co-founder of Divine Tree. And what success means to me, man, is just to simplify it, just financial freedom. It's just to aim and have a purpose, you know, to set yourself up to be financially free.
I'm Christina Tegby. I'm the founder of 54 Thrones. We launched in Sephora stores this past January, so that was very so when I think of success, I always think about what I'm leaving here. What impact am I making? How can I live forever? How can my brand live forever? And so I think of that every day, and with every decision and every move that I make with my brand, I want to make sure that whatever we're doing can live beyond me.
I'm here because 2.5 years ago, 4 amazing men came walking into the studio, and I have enjoyed just every second since I got a chance to meet them. For me, this is very hard, by the way, being like the last 3, because you guys have touched all the good ones. I'm like, oh, for me, it's definitely everything that you guys have touched on. The enjoyment of just doing what you get to do every day. Some of us are gifted from birth. Some of us get our gifts and we work really hard to make sure that they come to fruition. I thought that I wanted to be so many things, and I went to college thinking I was going to do so many different things, and then I sat behind a computer and I went crazy. And it was just so miserable for me. I lacked the connection in getting to talk to people and collaborate and just being content and feeling like what I was doing was actually making some kind of purpose. And so I kept at fitness, and it's my passion, and it comes through with what I do, and so that makes me feel like there's my passion. That's what I wanted to do. Turned it into a business, and I've loved it ever since. So that to me was my step to success. Good luck, guys. You got 2 more.
My name is Andrew Kumar. I'm founder of the AK Law Firm. Started my law firm because I was tired of how people view lawyers. And that stereotype is true a lot of times. People are just worried about money. but being able to actually care about people and be client focused was something I think that no one does and that we need to do. So I got to do that, and I'm here today because I've got the opportunity to work with Divine Tree and then give them back as they do, because you get the opportunity to give back, and people that actually care and work with them is, you know, it's a special opportunity. For me, the definition of success, I guess, would be the ability to impact the world the way that you want to impact it, and that is, you know, impact your own life in the way that you want to live, impact the ones that your loved ones and the ones that work with you the way that you want to, and then impact the community and to leave that legacy behind, so that, you know, you left something here that wasn't here before.
My name is Laolu. I'm the founder of Divine Tree, business manager for Laremy, Tunsil. Divine Tree is our creative umbrella when it comes to like philanthropy, sports, management, personal training, merch, just anything that we think of, and our way of giving back to this earth. My definition of success is growth within me and the people around me. So just like, and not limiting ourselves, not boxing ourselves in any type of way, right? Mm-hmm. So like just tracking our progression and just seeing where we're going to take things. So growth is definitely my definition of success.
Love it. Love it.
You guys already know my name's Mac. I lead our branded content team at the NBA. This is my side gig. And my definition of success is walking in your purpose and being able to do something that you're passionate about every single day.
Cool.
Okay, I will have everyone get up and get some food, because I know we're all hungry, and then we'll kind of start the supper.
Hey y'all, so sorry for my tardiness. I'm Jay Mulan. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm a tastemaker, dot connector, and altogether I think success means to me is when you could put other people in position to win. Mm-hmm. That's when I really feel like, okay, I'm successful. Not when I'm at a place where I can buy something for myself or do for myself, but when I see my impact others.
You specifically said that you are trying to focus on bringing opportunities and voices and trying to highlight Black and brown.
Oh, so this is my fault.
I want everyone to kind of discuss, like, how do you balance, like, being successful and having a successful venture, but then also giving back to your culture and your community?
My business is to help people buy houses, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so I finance houses for a living. It's like a requirement for my loan officers every week to go do some type of community service, no matter what it is, whether it's local, a shelter or school, something out there to show people that we care, we're part of the community. We're not just about making money, we're about helping others.
The more that you do for the community, the more the community gives back to you, and that feeds into your ability to do more for the community. So it kind of keeps rolling. Yeah, I understand.
Like what he was saying, never forget where you come from. Like I come from an immigrant family. Like my mom, every day let me know, like she grew up in the village. Like she let me know. Like whenever I complained, whenever anything was going, she was like, like she used to fetch water in the bucket. So whatever we do as a Divine Tree, we definitely focus on mothers a lot, just because we all grew up with like mothers leading the household, but we just always thinking about giving back and being purposeful regardless of all the blessings coming in. Let's not forget where we came from, because like we're here because like our mothers were strong through some hard times. So just remembering our root and just letting that lead our purpose.
Yeah. I feel like it's simultaneously, because what I do is always within the community, pushing the narrative forward or making sure I bring people together that can help each other, because it's like I compartmentalize in my head. Oh, you do this. Oh, you need to get with this person. This person can help you elevate in this area. And I tell people, you never know the person you're sitting next to could be your next level to success. And so I'm always constantly like trying to move the needle forward on that end. Even when it comes down to giving back, I've done things in the community like turkeys and things of that nature, and then I start to think, well, what are things that I like to do? Well, I love going to the movies. I go to the movies once a week. I said, hey, let me take, you know, a foster home to the movies. Let me take the school to the movies, to iPick. A lot of those kids, that was their first time to iPick. Multiple kids, their first time ever even going to a movie theater. And so just to give those experiences for other kids, I think for me, it's like, once you're there, you realize, okay, I can touch it, I can attain it, I should be here.
The only thing I would add to that is community is multifaceted. I've been a banker for 30 years this year, and I've had every opportunity. Yeah, I started when I was 2. Good job there, AK. But that grew with me, and I recognized that I was a banker at one stage of my life, all the way to where I am today. Every one of those stages has a community that's attached to that. So if everything you do is about that community, because you are the community, then you keep it as one, like you said, simultaneously, versus I'm working and then now I'm going to go do something. No, I need to work in that community and make sure that they're taking that journey with us.
I say I'm a personal trainer, but really more so preventative care, right? Like most people come in the gym and they have problems that they just want to talk about. Even me and Eric was speaking a couple of days ago. He had a few kids come in, like, and they came in with slides on trying to work out. He asked them, like, where your shoes at?
Yeah, I was cracking
the kids didn't have any shoes to work out in. So he called me, he was like, bro, these kids have no shoes. They have nowhere to eat, they have nowhere to go for the summer. Like, so we want to create an initiative where we have a summer program for the kids where they can come eat a meal a day, you know what I'm saying? So like you say, impacting the community in different ways and different factors, multifaceted. Like people come into the gym for an hour just to talk. Like have clients that don't want to touch a weight. You know what I'm saying?
I think the greatest thing is staying in touch, man. Because a lot of things that we do and take for granted, we don't realize there's people out here that don't have those advantages. I mean, the very small things, like the kids came in and they were working out. Two of them had Yeezy slides on, and the slides were fake. But that wasn't even a joke for him. The joke was more like, boy, you ain't come to work out, where your shoes at? And he was like, I ain't got no shoes, I'm gonna get some no shoes when school starts. And I had to walk down the street because I can remember not having nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And the worst thing about not having nothing is you don't have anything, but you have a bunch of shame. On top of that, you have a bunch of pride. So it's hard to even ask somebody for something. And to the point to where the people that really want help, it's hard to even give them something. We can say we want, but social media and all the other influences of the world take advantage of these children so far. They gonna go listen to NBA Youngboy before they listen to you talking about doing the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? Hanging out the window with a switch sounds more cooler than them than actually saying, bro, you can make it better with an education. Man, you take McDonald's for granted. We won't even eat McDonald's. We'll go to Chick-fil-A. Bro, there's people out here right now that cannot afford McDonald's. That can't, bro. They hungry, bro. People's going to school to eat. It's summertime. You're starving right now, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, man, that free lunch is a major thing to a bunch of people. So financial freedom starts everything. Because if you focus on the next dollar, you ain't got time to focus on nothing else. You working 18 hours a day, you ain't got time to raise your child and properly groom and love them the way that you need to. So I think for us, it's like the most important thing is to make sure that we fill this room with people that don't know nothing. They don't even speak the language that we're speaking, you understand? So we can actually each one teach one to get to the next level. But that's just mine, man. And I'm passionate.
You're gonna pass the plate twice.
That
was church. That was church, bro.
What do those relationships look like?
Everything, right? So I think even piggybacking off the last question, right? Like, I think me and bro was just talking like, we come from single mothers. So everything, my foundation for is for the hood and for single mothers, unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? Black single mothers and black youth from the hood, right? So, and I was doing that year one of my business. I didn't know how to do a 501c3. I just knew shit, I'm winning. These black women spending their last penny with me. I gotta give it back to the hood because I needed some help, right?
A female or, yo, you should talk like this in the meetings, or yo, very, very helpful criticism, you know? With Jordan, like I know his situations too. Like I work hand in hand with him. He shoots all my videos, he shoots all of our videos. And so we talk personal. It kind of helps the other end. He's trying to make that vision that I have for myself. He'll go harder. He'll go a little bit harder because we talk on the personal end, you know? So I feel like nurturing the relationship is the key, you know? Make that relationship, make that connection, but then how do you like pour into that? Pour into that, you know? It's like
our therapy session. Going down our therapy license and being able, because there's so many people who come in, they're bringing their day with them to us, but we don't have that. Yes, we're professionals, but we're in a completely different setting than the bank. It's interesting how you have to kind of glide between the two. It is a business, but they're wanting to connect more personally. I wouldn't expect to walk into a bank and there'd be a personal connection.
Exactly.
That's lovely, but then I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go home and it's not gonna be the same thing. Alex, you know, we're gonna see the same people. And it is a big connection. It's body, it's mind, it's spirit, it's everything that we get to nurture, where it's probably a little bit more challenging on a business end.
About networking, I think two things. One, networking is an example of what's possible. Because when you go to a networking event, sometimes you're just going to see something that you don't know. And you know, it's always important to me when I attend these networking events. I'm a black female. I'm one of the highest black females at a Fortune 100 company. Like women look at me and be like, what? Like, and I want them to say, okay, so that means it's possible for you. One of the things I did want to say that's important for us at this table, that you said that we're trying to change the paradigm on. Most people think that you walk into a bank and there isn't a connection. I don't understand how anybody can walk into a bank and give their money to somebody and not have a connection.
When you're early on in your career, like one of your interns who finally has his first email signature, he should have the same relationship as his banker as LT has with his banker. And how do you prioritize that as a banker, saying like I will treat people and foster a relationship no matter what dollar is coming in?
When you treat people like people, when you actually connect with them, your business is going to flourish. It comes from that because people are so starved for that. And I just think a lot of times the businesses miss that nowadays because we're so consumed with moving the dollar, you know, the next dollar.
Your relationships is what keeps you afloat when the season isn't doing good. I tell people that all the time. You're not up forever, you're not down for long. So those seasons when you're down, that's when you're leaning on those relationships. And it's crazy because when I opened up my business Chase account, you know, I'm just talking to the woman that I met or whatever, and then I brought up somebody's name. She's like, oh my God, you know Mr. Portis? And it was like a whole scene. This man has passed away 5 years ago. And she rolled out the red carpet just from a name that I mentioned. That's what I really advocate to be. Once I leave this earth, I want my print to be made that no matter what, my kids will always, you know, be able to utilize me as a key.
I feel like you gotta treat everyone good though. That's key because like a lot of people treat people good that, oh, that's the CEO of that, that's this or that. Like I met Layla through a relationship from a friend I had since middle school. Like me and Sierra just been cool. Now me and Layla do business because Sierra moved to LA. She's friends with Layla. Layla does philanthropy, Laolu in sports, connectivity. You feel me? Like my older cousin I haven't talked to in years. She hit me up like, yo, Derek's my people. Like, she knows I'm good people. I know she's good people, so I'm gonna talk to Derek. He's gonna be good people. So you really just gotta connect the dots. So like the vine tree is a tree. Like we look at it as a family tree of connectivity. Like we met Jordan just a random night in LA through a friend. Now he's been shooting us for 5 years. Like, you know, so just treating the person to the right, to the left, good for you, regardless of what you think they could do, regardless of what you think they're worth. And that's how you really build and connect with people on the human level.
Any network I'm in, any relationship I'm in, I'm bringing value. I ain't coming asking for shit. I'm bringing value off the top, right? It'll come back. And it usually will come back when you need it. When you down somewhere, that phone call like, hey, I got a $5. Oh man, thank you. Right? But that's because you brought value, and I think a lot of people need to understand that when you meet people at any level, when you treat them like a human, I'm automatically, every time I'm listening to you, I'm down low. That's why I learned the question from you earlier. I'm like, oh bro, I gotta use that question because it gives more insight to somebody, and I'm just trying to figure out how I can bring value to you.
If that connection isn't organic, like you're missing out on that piece that could lead to somewhere else. Like everybody that I have like 40, 50 clients, but they could easily go to another gym if I'm not creating that organic relationship with them, you know what I'm saying? So
They buy into you.
Yeah.
They don't buy into products. People don't buy products.
It wasn't advice that was given specifically to me, but I was on Instagram scrolling and I saw this video of Cat Williams, and he was giving this very candid interview. And they asked him the question, what was the best piece of advice someone gave you? And what was the worst piece of advice someone gave you? And he said, never change. And so you saw that, yeah. So, and I had never thought of that like that, because I feel like we're mostly taught like, you know, to never change. Yeah.
For me, I won't say it was advice, but I will say it was a word. So I'm going to take a quick poll, show of hands. How many people have heard of or know what confluence is?
I know now, because something about merging.
I've heard that word.
I've heard it, yeah. Something about.
Okay, so confluence. It's an earthly phenomenon where two rivers merge to become one. What makes this an earthly phenomenon is that each river has its own characteristic, whether it's wave strength, depth, wave direction. But the idea is they come together and create something greater as a result of the two characteristics becoming one. I was sharing this concept with one of my neighbors, and she happens to be a seller. So she was like, you know, Robert, I know what confluence is. But you know what's interesting about confluence is when the two rivers come together, that's where the most debris is. And man, this was an epiphany for me, because I'm like, golly, I get it now. Right? If you think of confluence as a relationship or your spiritual journey, whatever the case may be, where you're one and something else is merging with you to create something greater, typically that's where all the garbage is. And that's what you have to navigate. So when I think about this word confluence now, that has become the greatest advice I've ever received. Because now I understand when two rivers merge together to create something greater, that there's gonna be some debris.
Everyone's purpose is motivated to help others. We're all in different sectors, different avenues, but what it boils down to is us wanting to serve, reaching back to helping the next person, helping your interns get set up, helping the kids in the community. So I think that's the beauty of it, and that's when you're really walking in your purpose.
I think you touched on this earlier, how difficult it can be for people to ask for help and to accept help. And one thing that inspired me, I was in the Sephora Accelerator program, and when we graduated that program, Virgil Abloh came and did a speech for us. There were 7 people, 7 brands in my class. And this was before we all knew, you know, before we knew he was, well, we didn't know he was ill, but it was like a year before he passed. And when he passed, all of his friends and these people came on social media, and they were sharing like their last text message exchanges between him. And he knew he was gonna die, right? And so he was aggressively reaching out to his network and saying, what are you working on? How can I help you? What you got going on? Let me help with this, let me help with this, let me help with that. Because he knew he was coming. He knew it was coming. And so I felt like that was his way to like plant that last seed and to extend that hand, because it is difficult for some people to ask for help. So now when people DM me, and I know other, you know, women and men who are starting brands, and I know how difficult it can be to be like, can we hop on a Zoom, can we? So I'll be like, hey, here's my link, let me know if you want to get on my calendar, like, because I know how that feels.
Yeah, I definitely, something I live by is don't focus on the to-do list, focus on the to-be list. And that's something that really hit home for me when I got that advice, because growing up, I was just trying to hit every accolade. I was trying to go to the next level. Like, that was just my main focus, and I just didn't feel fulfilled. I was in a depression. I had dealt with a lot of anxiety, or I will accomplish something. I would just focus on all the negative things that went wrong with whatever thing that I was a part of, instead of just congratulating myself or patting myself on the back. But what about your peace of mind? What about your happiness? What about, you know, your health? And so just reaching within first, and then everything else just comes effortlessly.
Money magnet, baby. Love that.
One thing that not anyone has said, but I think everyone's alluded to, is imposter syndrome. And how, like, well, why am I here? And am I supposed to be here? And I had just gotten this new role at the NBA, and I'm the youngest director, female director, and I was freaking out. I'm like, I'm young, like I can't do this. And there's a woman who came and she spoke and she said, if you are called upon, you are worthy. And so whether it's Virgil helping you, whether it's helping the community, whether it's helping the intern, it's like you are here for a reason. You are in this season of your life because you were meant to be here.
And if we didn't feel that, we probably wouldn't be as successful as we are. So.
And honestly, creating the character, creating who you want to become. I definitely got to a place where I wrote down, who is she? You know what I mean? And then I became it. And so that's why I tell people all the time, because, you know, people are like, I'm shy. I'm like, stop saying that over yourself. You know, you say, I'm confident, even though deep down inside that might be what it is. Even for me, I feel like I was always an extrovert growing up, and now as I get older, I'm turning into like an introverted extroverted. I'm like, what's going on? I love people. Why am I having anxiety? Why am I shaky? Like, I'm a people person. What's going on? And I do feel like it is social media. I feel like it's crutches that get us to a place where I don't have to go meet with you in person. I don't have to step in the bank. I can call the phone. And it's like, no, like you said, push yourself. I got a family to feed. If I don't go meet somebody, hey, that could mess up my trajectory of the next 3 years. If I don't go shake hands, if I don't go have that dinner, if I don't go talk to somebody. So
that gives me the power to be like, I'm dreaming big. Shit, everybody can count Warren out, but Warren ain't gonna count Warren out. And because I think of so many of my family members who counted themselves out. They see me when I come back. What's going on, big money? Oh, I seen you over here. I could never do that. Oh, I seen you did this. I could never do that. It's like, you fucking right, you can never do it. Because you keep saying you can never do it, right? I believed I could, right?
One thing that kind of like changed my, that shifted me was, it was placed on the other side of fear of the most beautiful things in life. And like, for me, having to change my profession from playing sports to hopping into the entrepreneurial world, I had to reinvent myself. Once I heard that, I was like, yo, I can actually reinvent myself and become somebody new. We always shed skin. Like 10 years from now, I might be doing something totally different than I'm doing right now.
I had a coach in college. So I played volleyball, played in college. I had a coach in high school, club coach, and she had said something, be relentless in your pursuit. And that stuck with me. I'm very short. I'm a setter. For those of you who don't know about volleyball, setters are offensive players who play front row, back row. And my goal was to go D1. That was it. Having months that I had so many coaches, so many people say, you're not going to go, you're too short, go to JUCO. It was, yeah. So I just kept that, be relentless in your pursuit, hit my goal, went D1, and applied it to business too. I'm like, all right, this is done, what's the next goal in life? Be relentless. There's so many times where, you know, we might get discouraged, we might have imposter syndrome, we might be trying to get our funds right to start our business, and there's a lot of obstacles, but that really helped me just stick to what that goal was and get it done.
Failure is not final, it's just feedback on what you need to adjust. And when you understand that and you don't let it defeat you, you keep going, you turn something, you flip something, and eventually you're going to reach your goal, or you're going to partner with the right person that sees your ambition and where you're trying to go, and they're going to lead you the rest of the way.
Yeah, having people that I could learn from, good and bad, right? Because I used to look at certain people like, oh snap, like, damn, they're doing this, they're that. They're way ahead of me at this young age and things of that nature. I'm learning, and then you get close to them and you just see, yo, I'm not gonna move like that, or I'm gonna do that. Like being able to like figure out what's for you and what's not for you. Because just because Jay-Z rapping like that don't mean you can rap like that. Like trust, he's different. You know what I'm saying? But you can rap. You can say some certain things in different aspects that Jay-Z can never do because he never been where you're from. He never talked to people that you did. So just that discernment of just figuring myself out through people that I look up to, people that I could feel like, yo, I'm striving for certain elements of that, but able to realize the positive and negative things that they do and feed it into myself.
So we can't all be NFL players, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not messing.
I got one. It's something I learned in college. College coach stuck with me to this day. And he says two types of people: the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't. He said both of them are right. You It's all about perspective. And when you think you can't do something, you already lost. Like you're already behind the 8 ball. And like perspective is anything in life. Like we can't control everything that happens to us, but you know how we respond is something that we can't control. That's within our capabilities and our abilities. So you know I kind of look at life like that. It's all about perspective. Like whatever happens to me, like it is what it is. It happens. Now what I'm gonna do about it.
What was beaten to me or what? But my dad used to say, "Can't ain't a word."
Can't ain't a word.
And he literally, anytime somebody used the word "can't," I literally whoopings because I said, no, for real. Like
I would be like that. I cannot.
When he was 64. My dad was born in 1926. So
God.
Now your father is the true definition of he went through it, you know. So you know, my dad fought in World War II. My dad played in the Negro Leagues. My dad drove trucks. My dad, yeah, he was definitely Juneteenth.
He is Juneteenth.
Some people have to leave, so I just want to have a natural segue for them to leave. But thank you all. Like you showed up as your most authentic, true self, and that's all we can ever ask for. And so I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. It was such a beautiful supper, and so I will send the notes. I will be making a group chat with everyone. You will be connected with one another forever. Have a group chat, so y'all, if you have opportunities, if you need internships, if you need anything, you drop it in that group chat. And then I will send the notes out, but please get home safe. We'll still kind of linger. That's it.
That's a question though, because I brought my mama's chicken inside the casserole.
Hell yeah, you bring it to me. So I'm making a cookbook. There'll be a Soul Supper cookbook, and the Soul Supper cookbook will feature every guest's recipe. And I wanted it to be handwritten because it's going to have it typed out, but handwritten notes are my biggest thing. So I want the handwritten notes for the second page of it. So if you want to give me whatever you're doing.
Oh yes.
So then we have gift bags. They're downstairs. We need to add one thing to it, but as people are leaving, we'll start giving them. But be if you want to leave, you can leave. If not, we can still kind of mingle. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you.
This is wonderful. Yes, it was. So I just want y'all's opinion on the smell. They're called Angel Energy candles. I'm dropping 7/11, July 11th.
Are they different smells?
There's one fragrance, one smell.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll pass it. I'll pass it.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. But they're the same smell.
They're the same smell. Exact same smell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's what I'm thinking of. I was like,
He's not watching.
I was gonna put it in my pocket.
Okay, now I'm a candle queen. I'm the one that I got 80. My husband be like, you gotta burn them all. So I would buy this any day.
Months on the fragrance,
This is fire.
I'm tired of y'all. It smells heaven. It's heaven.
PTT. We out here connected.
Talk to
Connected,
him, man.
Connected, man. That dinner was fire. You know how we do. JP Morgan, you know, Soul Supper, Divine Tree. Gang down, you feel me?
Shout out Rose and them, you know. Bel Air boys.
PTT, what a beautiful event. A lot of knowledge, a lot of power. A lot.
Oh shit, PTT. Wow, that was crazy. For the people who say we couldn't do it.
What's up, baby? I'm better than